Hey, All the Way with Alloway here with the writers and directors of The Way Way Back, Matt Faxon and Jim Rash. It's a lovely day in Santa Monica.
Yeah, the seagull was right on cue.
Right on cue, yeah.
And how appropriate, because The Way Way Back, well, half of it is filmed at a water park, which is awesome. So I have to start with asking a question about the title.
Yeah.
Because back in 2007, you guys were on the blacklist for the unproduced screenplays, but it was just The Way Back.
The Way Back.
So
Yes.
when did you slap on The Way Way Back? Has it have anything to do with Duncan not only being sentenced to the back of a car, but the way way back?
Well, sort of
Yes.
that, and there was a Peter Weir film called The Way
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 Back.
Back. The Way Back.
No, I think there's also a debate about what that back seat is. For some people it is the way back, and some people it's the way back. For us it is the way back, so we look back and we're like, why did we just call it the way back in the beginning?
So Sundance was crazy for you guys. With, I mean, I don't know how from your point of view, but from everyone else, we're like, everyone wants The Way Way Back. So as writers, though, with all these distribution companies competing for your film, what were you sort of looking for in that partnership?
Well, I think ideally a home that fosters these kinds of movies, you know, and obviously we had familiarity with Fox Searchlight from The Descendants, and you know, had a great experience there, and certainly they know how to market these types of movies and understand the tone of them. You know, Fox Searchlight, for example, showed us their trailer, and it like immediately encapsulated the tone of what we were going for. So I think we were just looking for someone who understands these types of movies, who makes these types of movies, develops them, acquires them, and gets it. And so you're just looking for a suitor, I think, that believes in your film.
Did one of you guys work at a water park? How much of the script is...
There's lots of little pieces that we pull from, and the biggest piece as far as like autobiographical is the very first scene of the movie, which is where Trent, Steve Carell's character, asks Duncan what he thinks he is on a scale from 1 to 10, and he says 6, and 3 is the answer. And that happened to me with my stepfather when I was 14. Had that exact same conversation, almost verbatim, on our road trip to our summer destination, which was Michigan at the time.
We certainly write with characters in mind when we're working, you know, from our training at the Groundlings Theater and writing lots of sketches. Yeah, that's you know, certainly at the forefront of our brains when we're putting things together. And you know, obviously you have templates or ideas, you know. I think Sam Rockwell's character, for example, you know, we thought a lot about Bill Murray from Meatballs, you know, as an inspiration. While we were writing, we did have Allison in mind. She was somebody that we knew sort of in social circles, so we just knew that she could play this type of character and excel at it. And so, you know, it was really about getting the script in shape and then thinking about who we could put in the roles that would make sense, or that would surprise us, or that would be exciting, or
Against type.
or or people that we love and admire and would love to work with. You know, so.
And Steve Carell was totally cast against type, but he was amazing.
Yeah.
He was such a douchebag. He's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, but like coming from a good place.
Yes,
But like,
certainly Sam and Maya, and you had these people who are certainly come from not just a place of improv, but know how to improvise from character and story, which I think is paramount to really good improv when it comes to servicing a movie. And so they brought more colors, certainly as we shot. So it could also be like discussions in between, or I'm going to try something here. We didn't do like long rolls. We did a day, I think, where one scene where we were rolling and doing sort of long improv. But
which scene was it?
well, the one where we improv is not, it's not a long scene, but it's the where Duncan first arrives there and watches just their interaction from the deck.
Okay.
So we did improv there, and a lot of that was just their interplay, because we wanted, that was their first day of really shooting together, and we wanted them to be able to connect and sort of create this repartee, because these are people that have been lived 3 years together, you know. So that was more a function of both for them and also to you know, to let them just play. But on a short budget, you just don't have the time, a time frame, and you're using one camera, you know, and that makes improv even longer, because you're trying to match what you had. So if someone did some great stuff on this, and we're doing coverage, and you're feeding that.
Right.
Whereas opposed to most improvised movies, I would imagine 2 to 3 cameras rolling at the same time, so they're getting all of that at the same
Right.
time.
Tell me about kind of how your writing relationship started, because I think one of the hard things is to find that writing partnership, let alone a directorial partnership. So how did it all begin for you two?
It began.
Let's go way back to the beginning.
It was.
If I can imagine,
Yeah.
harken back to a time.
Yeah, Nat's 26, let's say, or whatever it was. You know, it's 15 years ago that we met at the Groundlings. I think our comedy matched up, even though we are opposites, but I think that what we find funny is very universal to both of us. So I think we just found an ease with that, and then we wanted to go further and spent one summer writing a pilot. And we did a pilot at ABC like 2005, and then we wanted to go a little further and let's like a movie, and so it sort of built from there.
And how do you guys actually communicate? I mean, is it through email? Do you have like long, extensive coffee
Like
dates?
twins, we have
just
subliminal conversations with each other, like right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That's
what are you
right.
saying?
That is
now?
right, Nat. I am a very smart man. Thank you. How do we communicate?
How do we communicate? I guess it's that sort of thing where you are like an old married couple, or you almost finish each other's sentences at this point, where you sort of know what the other's going to say or what they're going to think, and so a lot of it is just knowing somebody very, very well. We pull from our training at the Groundlings, and a lot of it's similar to sitting around and trying to think of a sketch, where you're just sort of bouncing ideas back and forth, and you're brainstorming, and you're improvising silly bits, and then trying to remember them and write them down, and a lot of our, the early process in coming up with ideas or scripts or treatments or outlines, really is that, just us like, well, what about this, or what about this, and it's just sort of having fun, hanging out and trying to think of things, and brainstorming. So
I think we walked into this first time out of the gates directing with our strength was going to be on the performance side. Our strength was going to be in knowing not just these as actors. I think we know, we appreciate on set, what directors we've worked with, but I think we also have an understanding of these characters, an understanding of intention, an understanding of the scenes. And I think that we functioned as what I like to believe we were able to keep an open dialogue with our fantastic cast,
So you guys are on board with directing what you write? You think that's going to be, or does it just depend on the script?
I think for now, I think we wanted to stay this course just for at least one more, or 2 more. It's easier for us to take care of this baby than someone else's baby right now.
Yeah. So I'm dying to know what's up next for you guys, because you had your first run was like, meh, you want an Oscar. It was like Descendants was okay.
Yeah.
And then this film is already garnering so much success. So what's next for you guys? Taking over the world.
Yeah.
Really dominating.
What a weird stages, taking over the world. Not bad.
No, I think
3 simple steps.
We're writing right now. There's 2 projects that we're working on. One with Searchlight again, and the producing team behind The Descendants. The other is a Kristen Wiig project that we're writing for her in mind, or for her. An action comedy, probably a little bit bigger in scope,
Sold
a little,
in there.
a little darker, a little grittier.
Both of them, so.
Yeah. So.
And when does the film come out? Comes out in July, correct?
July 5th.
July 5th.
In selected theaters, and then
Platform release.
Awesome. Go see the movie.
Please.
Please.
Thank you guys so much. Nat Fax and Jim Rash, all the way with Alloway.